The lure of easy riches is often irresistible, especially for those who live on the fringes of society. I was one such individual, a failed businessman who had squandered my family inheritance on schemes destined for failure. My last remaining asset was a small cabin nestled deep within the heart of the dense forest, which served as both my home and base of operations for my latest venture. Treasure hunting. For years, rumors had circulated among the local community about a vast cache of gold and silver coins buried somewhere within the woods. Some believed the treasure had been hidden by a band of highwaymen who roamed these parts during the late 18th century. Others whispered of a wealthy landowner whose ancestral estate lay at the edge of the forest. Whatever the truth may have been, none dared to seek out the fabled loot until the day arrived when I decided to take up the challenge. My partner in crime was a fellow opportunist named Jack, a man twice my age, but equally driven by greed and a desire for adventure. He claimed to possess knowledge of the area, having spent his formative years exploring these woods before settling down in nearby town. Though our partnership seemed unlikely, we were both willing to set aside our differences for the prospect of becoming overnight millionaires. The journey from my cabin to our destination proved arduous, but we eventually reached the foot of a large hill shrouded in mist. It was there, amidst the roots of a gnarled oak tree, where Jack declared we would find the entrance to a long-abandoned mine shaft leading directly to the treasure trove itself. With hearts pounding and flashlights blazing, we descended into the unknown depths below. At first, the going was relatively straightforward. Narrow tunnels snaked through jagged rock faces, winding ever further away from the surface world above. Our path occasionally splintered off into smaller passages, each promising some new clue or valuable artifact just beyond reach. As the silence settled once again, I couldn't shake the feeling that something sinister lurked just beyond our field of vision. Despite all evidence to the contrary, I clung to the belief that we had discovered a well-hidden burial site rather than an abandoned mine shaft. The notion that humans could create and maintain such structures within this twisted maze filled me with dread. What kind of madness drove them to build here? Why did they choose to conceal the secrets within from prying eyes? Those questions soon became secondary concerns as we uncovered even more evidence of their presence. Following another narrow bend in the passage, we came across a crude wooden door set into the stone wall. When we pushed it open, its rusted iron hinges groaned noisily, and another room appeared beyond. This room was unlike any structure we had ever encountered. Dim red lights illuminated a large room, casting eerie shadows on walls, decorated with strange symbols deeply etched into the stone surfaces. Dozens of metal tables lined the length of the space, covered with enigmatic equipment unlike anything either of us recognized. As we approached the nearest table, Jack and I found ourselves drawn to the few objects displayed on it, like eerie trinkets in a carnival sideshow. Upon closer inspection, we saw that the objects resting on the metal sheets had been cleanly cut away. The sight alone made me sick to my stomach. Jack vomited violently on the floor next to him, tears streaming down his face as he collapsed on the cold floor. No matter how hard I tried to push the images away, they refused to leave my mind. With a renewed sense of urgency, We pressed forward through the chamber, searching for any sign of escape from this nightmare factory. Each turn brought forth fresh terrors. At one point, we stumbled upon a massive furnace burning white-hot in the corner of a room filled with steel hooks and chains. An acrid smell permeated everything, like that of charred flesh mixed with sulfur. We hurried past, desperate to distance ourselves from the haunting scene. Time seemed to blur within the dark confines of the labyrinthine tunnels. We lost track of how long we had been wandering, consumed by the growing fear that we would never find our way out. The air grew heavier, suffocating, as if the very atmosphere conspired against us. Whispers echoed through the chambers, whispering our names, taunting us with promises of pain and eternal damnation. Just as despair threatened to consume us completely, we stumbled upon a glimmer of hope, a staircase leading upward. A staircase leading upward. Exhausted but determined, we climbed the steps, praying that they would lead us back to the surface. The ascent felt endless, as if the stairs reached into an abyss beyond comprehension. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, we emerged from the darkness into a moonlit clearing. The dense forest surrounded us, casting long shadows that danced in the pale light. The fresh air filled our lungs, cleansing us of the suffocating dread we had experienced below. But our relief was short-lived. As we stood there, catching our breath and surveying our surroundings, we noticed something was amiss. The forest seemed eerily silent, devoid of the usual sounds of wildlife. The very air itself held a tinge of malevolence, a foreboding presence that sent shivers down our spines. Then, from the depths of the forest, a low growl rumbled. We turned toward the source of the sound, only to be met with glowing feral eyes staring back at us. Figures emerged from the shadows, twisted, grotesque creatures with elongated limbs and razor-sharp claws. They moved with unnatural speed, closing in on us with a hunger in their eyes. We ran, our hearts pounding in our chests, desperately trying to escape the clutches of the forest's abominable guardian. Branches tore at our clothes, thorns dug into our flesh, but we pushed forward, driven by sheer terror and the will to survive. In the chaos, Jack tripped, falling to the ground with a cry of pain. I stopped, torn between saving myself and helping my partner. But when I turned around, I saw the creatures swooping down on him, attacking him with savage fury. Their screams echoed through the night, an unforgettable symphony of pain. With a heavy heart, I continued running, tears streaming down my face. The forest seemed to twist and turn, the path shifting before my eyes. Desperation fueled my every step, my mind clouded with a mix of fear and grief. I had lost everything, my dreams of fortune, my partner, and now even my sanity. Finally, when I could run no longer, I collapsed at the edge of a small stream. I had no strength left, both physically and emotionally. The moon hung high above me, casting a cold light upon my broken spirit. I wept, my cries blending with the gentle babble of the stream. But even in my darkest moment, the forest wasn't finished with me. From the depths of the water, twisted hands emerged, grasping at my legs, pulling me into its icy embrace. I thrashed and fought, but it was futile. The forest claimed me, dragging me down into its watery depths. As I sank, the last thing I saw was a glimmer of gold and silver coins scattered across the streambed. The treasure I had sought lay before me, mocking my foolishness and insatiable greed. And so the forest swallowed me whole, my final resting place a tomb within its ancient heart. My story serves as a warning, a cautionary tale for those who dare to chase after easy riches. The allure of treasure may be strong, but the price paid for its pursuit can be unimaginable, leading to a fate far worse than any earthly fortune. For just $3 a month, you can have your name featured in my YouTube videos and descriptions. Not only will you be supporting my channel, but you'll also be immortalized in the credits of my content. If you're looking for something a bit more personalized, consider becoming a $25 a month patron. I'll voice your stories and bring them to life on my channel. Create a special drawing just for you, or even write a unique story tailored to your interests. So don't hesitate. Join my patron community today and help me keep the spooky stories coming. And remember, together we can save each other from the YouTube algorithm. Thank you for your support.